Welcome, Night Owls, to our first episode of the Humblewood Saga. This is our season 1. We are going to be playing in a world known as the Humblewood. It does have another name in the book, but we're going to ignore that because it's too many words to learn. Humblewood. So this is an all animal-based player character and NPC universe with deer folk, bird folk, mouse folk, pangolin folk, even though that's not in the book, and many others that you will get to learn throughout this journey. But today we're going to reintroduce, if you didn't listen to our episode 0, our characters and kind of who we're playing and who's acting out here as our players. Before we jump in, I'm Mark, your dungeon master. I'll be finagling and puppeteering this game for this season this year. And first up, DJ.
Hey folks, my name is Darwin.
Are you doing that?
Yeah.
Shit.
I should have played along. It's fine.
No, I like that better.
Okay. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm
okay.
ADHD.
I'm somebody.
Now I'm confused.
Darwin.
Hi, Darwin. How are you doing?
Hey.
What are you doing here?
How's it going, buddy? Hey.
What are you doing?
My name's Darwin. I'm playing Q.
I didn't fucking know that.
He's a cleric of the Twilight domain. He loves to garden. And his quote of the day is that you can bury any number of headaches in a garden.
Quote of the day. I like that.
Hi, my name is Wookie. I'll be playing a mouse folk monk named Thistlefoot. Now, I don't have any words of wisdom, but I do have to say, waking up each morning, taking a nice little breath, breathing in, breathing out, and pumping out a few push-ups is good for the soul.
I think me and Becca thought the same thing. That morning poo, you know?
That too. That's also very
It's important to get that toxicity out of you. It's really important for you to cleanse your body out.
Hello. My name is Becca. I will be playing Penny. She is a fighter pangolin. Pangolin, not a penguin. Pangolin, like Sandshrew. Pokemon Sandshrew. She has a big old warhammer and she is ready to fight when needed. But she's also very shy. So this is going to be kind of interesting.
And with that, we'll jump into our first episode of Tales of Twilight. Ooh. The sun, a golden orb, casts long shadows across the winding wooden walkways of Marshview. A gentle fog drifts from the nearby swamps to the west, lending an ethereal quality to the quaint town. The air is filled with distant croaking of frogs and the occasional squawk of a startled bird. Not our bird folk, though. The market square is a bustling hub of activity. Vendors, both bird and humble folk, hawk their wares. Fresh fish, colorful feathers, handmade pottery, and potent herbal remedies. A group of young birdfolk children, their wings tucked neatly, engage in a lively debate over a recent airball game. Nearby, a wise old owl, perched on a rocking chair, watches the scene with a knowing glint in its eye. A lone, humble folk traveler with a worn backpack approaches the market square. The townsfolk eye them with a mix of curiosity and suspicion, their gaze lingering a moment too long. The traveler, undeterred, continues towards the market, hoping to blend in among the crowd and discover the secrets of Marshview and pick up what they need from the market. A swift breeze from the southeast carries away the fermented smell of the swamps for a salty, cool one. The breeze refreshes the market-goers and the small Maypock child that rushes through the crowds into the market before bumping into a large pangolin posted just outside one of the market stalls. Becca, would you describe your character?
So Penny, she's a pangolin like an armadillo. Long tail though. She is in her garb, in her robes that are pink and black and gray. She has a warhammer at her side and she tends to have jewelry all the time with her. She has a utility belt, a little piercing on her scale, and a charm bracelet on her wrist.
After this young raccoon person, I guess I should say, raccoon folks, he bumps into you. He goes, "I'm sorry, ma'am. So sorry."
Oh, it's okay. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Whoa, you got a lot of shinies.
Yes, I do.
You're so pretty.
Oh, well, thank you. And she slowly starts bringing her hands up to her chest.
Sorry. Bye. The raccoon person kind of like stumbles off to the side and rushes off. As he moves past you and bumps into a couple other people sliding through, that like childlike wonder in his eye, like kind of looking back and staring at you. Matt, you notice this small little raccoon kind of brush by you for a moment. Would you describe your character?
So I am playing Thistlefoot. He is a 2-foot tall mouse folk with hazily colored fur and a long, thin tail that has just a little bit of a poof of fur toward the end. Has defined by some pretty long legs that are powerfully built from years of kicking and jumping and never skips leg day.
You freaking diced, bro.
Absolutely.
You're shredded.
Never skip leg day. This foot never did. So Thistlefoot also has hazel eyes and long ears, very characteristic of any type of mouse. Except on the tip of his right ear, there's a little bit of a scorched tip from it. So it kind of sets him apart, just kind of a unique Thistlefoot, kind of humming to himself, enamored by market stalls that are getting on, looking for something to eat for the day to break his fast for the morning. Seeing this little raccoon folk, it's nice to see children at play and undisturbed by the harshness of the world.
All right, so this little raccoon child kind of like brushes by you, not enough to warrant an apology, but you know, kind of has to squeeze through you. There's a lot of people at market today coming from the coast, like selling their wares, the little fish and everything. What is your passive perception?
That's a good question. Let me pull up my D&D.
For those listening, your passive perception, that is something that how aware you are of things going on around you, like small things you might notice happening that may otherwise go unnoticed.
Thistlefoot's passive perception is 16.
Wow, that's really good. He perceives everything. So you see this little raccoon child. He tries to put on a little bracelet around his hand, but it's far too big for his little hands and wrists, his little arm. So he like, okay, and then throws it over as like a necklace around himself. But you noticed as you were kind of side-eyeing the movement of the crowd surrounding you, he swiped it off of the pangolin that was standing just beside you while they were having that conversation, the apology. He kind of snatched it off a wrist and is running out of sight right now, and he drifts through crowd as you see him kind of disappear.
Well, Thistlefoot will softly sigh to himself and kind of give a little head shake. And I'm going to quietly follow behind him where he went off to. You said he went kind of behind a building?
He slipped through the crowds, but yeah, as you kind of push through and start following him, you see him slip behind a building.
Excuse me.
Okay. Yeah, everyone kind of like lets you pass. And as you're bumping through the crowd and kind of slipping through easily because you're a little bit smaller than a lot of the other folks there.
Sometimes I walk in between people's steps if I need to.
Yeah. We pass by one of the market stalls where we see a hedgehog purchasing some seeds and other herbs from the market stall. Darwin, would you describe your character for us?
So Q stands a shockingly tall 5 feet. Very hard to miss him. He often comes to town to purchase new seeds, get new recipes, learn about gardening techniques from the nearby townsfolk. Right now, he's looking for a particular way to grow in harsher climate. Sort of as you pass by him, he gets a little rustle in his gardening tools. You bump into his quills, and kind of just causes him to go. It's kind of like this. You know, like in a comic when a character bumps somebody, is on the other side of him. They're like,
Pardon me.
And you just see a small little mouse folk just kind of drift through the crowd with a determined look, pushing through, searching for something. And we'll kind of follow you, Thistlefoot, for a moment here as you break away out of the market and see this young coon shift around in between an alley and two buildings and head to the north side of the town, you're able to catch up because your steps are a little bit faster than this
I'm a
child.
fast little boy.
You pass the children as they're kind of like hopping on little stumps and throwing a ball at a little statuette of an owl that sits on top of another branch.
And the ball, as the child they're throwing the ball, it bounces off and kind of heads towards Thistlefoot, and Thistlefoot just does a nice just little kick to pass it off to the kids as he continues on.
Yeah, they're about to come chasing after the ball, and you just like set it up, and one of the other chicken folk people comes up and kicks it, and they're like, yeah! They're able to knock the statue out with that perfect setup you give them, and then you kind of shift down to the alleyway. And just as this raccoon folk is about to like shift into a sprint for the woods to get out of town, to kind of like take a look at what he's got from his little heist, you grab him.
I like to think Thistlefoot kind of bounces from, jumps up, bounce from one wall to another to get in front of him and jumps and lands.
You Obi-Wan Kenobi him.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. You land and he falls backwards onto his butt.
Well, hello there.
Where did you come from?
You know, that's a really good question. That's a really good question. Where do we come from?
What? He's scooting backwards and beginning to get up and look like he's gonna make a break for it and run away from you.
It's okay. It's
No.
okay.
Why are you chasing me?
You know, I couldn't help but notice the lovely necklace that you're wearing.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
My mom made it for me.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. By the way, what is your name? You seem familiar. I feel like I've seen you before.
My name is Scout.
Oh, well, hello, Scout. That's a nice name.
This is a really creepy interaction, sir. I'm gonna leave now. And he starts to turn around. He's like kind of scooting away.
Well, as he turns around, I'm going to do a little flip over. I'm going to use my powerful legs. I'm going to jump over him, kind of do a little flip over him and land in front of him.
Why don't you give me a nice little acrobatics check?
Absolutely.
See how
Yeah.
well of a little flippy you do.
8.
8
Or 9, excuse me, 9.
Okay. It's like a little bit below average. You're able to kind of like, you have to kind of catch yourself on one of the boxes in the alley and like kind of stabilize yourself. So it's not as elegant as that first
Yeah,
drop
my
in.
tail kind of hits the box and throws me off a little out of balance.
you kind of stumble, but you like blade pose for a second and then stand up, you know? He's like, what are you going to do to me?
I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm just really interested in the necklace
This is
that
mine.
your mom made.
Please leave me alone.
I will now. Why don't you be honest with yourself? Is that really your necklace?
Yes.
I don't think it's your necklace, son.
It's not. It's a bracelet. It just doesn't fit me yet.
Yeah, I would imagine you'd grow into it once you become wiser.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Why don't you give me back
What?
that lovely necklace that belongs to that penguin that you
His-
took it from?
His head just kind of like sinks.
Just do the right thing. It's okay.
He looks around. He looks at your buff legs. He's not making it out of here. And he slowly he's like throwing a child, takes it off his head and extends his hand.
I'll take it from him, and as I take it, I'll give him a little pat on the head and say, "You did the right thing, and you'll understand later."
You suck. And you'll understand later, old man. He just like runs off.
Just chuckle to myself and take a look at the bracelet. It's nice. And I'm going to head off to try to find this pangolin that really a rare sight. I don't think I've really ever seen one. This stranger. Head off and try to find this stranger in town.
Well, they stick out. Very easy to find. You make your way back there, kind of still around that same area.
I like to think I jump up on one of the stall roofs to try to look over the crowd because I am 2 feet tall, so it's going to be hard to find. I get up to a higher position, top of one of the stalls, and excuse me, sir, and just try to take a look to spot this penguin.
Is this sterling silver or is this iron? What's the material of this? It looks beautiful.
I head over to her, give a nice little tap, and it's not going to be on your shoulder because you're taller than me, but you feel a little tap on your arm.
Hello?
Excuse me, didn't mean to startle you there. I think this is yours.
Oh, how did you get that? And she snatches it out of your hand.
You know, I just happened to find it on the ground. I noticed that you were wearing it earlier. I mean, no offense. You stick out a little bit, and so this just looked like it belonged to you.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate it. That's weird. Maybe the latch broke. I don't.
Yeah. Perhaps I just happened to find it on the ground over there, and I'm gonna point towards one of the stalls that you had visited.
I was
maybe
over there earlier. That makes sense.
Yeah. That's a lovely bracelet.
Thank
by the
you.
name. Oh, excuse me. Where are my manners? My name's Thistlefoot, and he extends a small little paw.
And Penny holds out one of her long claws to hold out to shake your paw.
It's quite comical, so I just shake it. Well, it's very nice to meet you, Penny. And again, I don't mean to be rude, but you're not from around here, are you?
I am not. I'm a traveler, a little faraway land.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, I'm here to look for something, and so I know there's not a lot of penguins in this area.
No, you know, you're not the first penguin that I've seen, but I haven't seen many.
Wookie. You hear the screams of those 3 couple children, and the echo of talking kind of changes for a moment.
Thistlefoot immediately goes on high alert.
Yeah, a few arrows hit beside you and into the stall.
I backflip backwards.
Okay, you backflip.
Or jump backwards.
Okay. Like, you're gonna roll for... No, you're not gonna. You see a couple of different figures from the tops of the buildings surrounding the market kind of raise up, and a large imposing raccoon figure, almost as shredded as you are, but full body, not just legs, steps out. You see them kind of knock over one of the kids, and
oof.
Yeah, there's arrows drawn and pointed towards the market, and they announce, "Everyone, give us all of your weapons and food or be punished."
I have my hands behind my back and I softly walk forward.
He sees you kind of step out from the crowd as everyone's kind of backing away and hiding behind the stalls. And
Gentlemen, how can I help you today?
You hear the bowstrings kind of retch back and they all start aiming at you.
Now, there's no call for that.
He pulls out a giant great sword that's on his back.
Wow, it's really cool.
Give us what you have.
Don't have much, so if it's all the same to you, I'm going to hold on to this.
He's gonna take a quick swing, and then we'll get into combat. He's gonna take a swing at you.
All right, I'm gonna bound upward and jump over his swing.
That is a 14 to hit.
I jump over his swing.
Yeah, his greatsword is really slow, so he takes a wide swing, and you easily kind of flip out of the way. You see his teeth kind of come out of his maw, and we're gonna go ahead and roll initiative. So this is going to be for everyone, not just the player we're engaging with right now. Penny, you do see this happening. You're in the market as well. The market is very wide, and the wave effect of everyone realizing what the heck's going on is kind of slowly happening. Combat happens in about 6 seconds at a time.
Now, there's no call for that.
He takes his sword back for another swing.
I rolled 19 for
19?
initiative.
What everybody else get?
9.
9?
4.
4. All right. You roll initiative.
Starting off great.
Top of the round, we're going to start off with you, Wookie.
I'm going to take a defensive stance. Now, sir, there's no need for that.
There's every need for this. We need all the supplies we can get.
Why?
We need it for that corrupt government in all their hearts. We need everything we can get to take them on. Now move out of the way and give us what you have.
Well, why are you taking the nice thing from these folk? Don't they also suffer from the corrupt government?
It's so why would you? Greater good.
The greater good for who?
Everyone.
And I'm going to take a patient defense stance. I'm going to expend a monk point, or focus points as they are now, to take the disengage and dodge action as a bonus action. Step in the way in front of this bandit leader as he's like trying to go in front of somebody. And I'm just going to be there in his way.
Okay. All right. So patient defense. Remind me what that does. And for the viewers that have no idea what you just said.
This one, it says you can take the disengage action as a bonus action. I can spend 1 focus point to take both the disengage and dodge action as a bonus action. So I'll do that disengage to like disengage and get in front of him. But then if he like swings at me again, I'm going to dodge.
Okay. So the disengage action is so that you can move away from people in combat and they can't take a swing at you as you move away from them. And then the dodge action gives them a disadvantage roll, which means they roll 2d20 and take the worst roll to hit you. So you're expecting an income attack and you're ready to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Next up, Penny. You are next.
So Penny sees the commotion going on and is like, wait a second, that's the mouse is he attacking him?
Yeah, you turn around and you see that one swing that he easily just flips over, and he's whipping the greatsword around to take another swing as they're arguing.
So I am going to use a disarming attack with my blowgun.
Oh. So shoot it out of his hand. Oh my god.
So with the disarming attack, when you hit a creature with an attack roll, you can expend.
Blowgun.
That's awesome.
When you can expend 1 superiority die and add the die to the attack's damage roll. The target must succeed a DC 11 strength saving throw, or they will drop 1 object of your choice that it's holding, which lands in its space. Ooh. So I'm going to roll to hit. Let's see how this goes. 16 to hit.
You do hit.
All right.
The dart, like you shoot it out and it hits the raccoon's hand, and immediately it's like touching a hot iron. He lets go and the greatsword like falls as he's coming up for a mid swing and drops behind him and just stands up in the dirt of the market.
When it drops behind him, I'll just say, "See, there's no need for that."
What's your damage, really quick, so I can add that to his health?
So it's only 2 damage.
Okay.
But it's 2 piercing.
All right. The dart, he kind of pulls out this dart and like makes eyes with you, Penny, and like throws it on the ground. Unless you have anything else, it's going to be his turn.
Well, hello. And she starts to prep her warhammer.
He's taking a look around at everyone now, and he looks up at the archers and he says, "Fire on everyone." And then all of the archers begin to pull back their bowstrings, and one each is going to take a shot at both.
Okay.
First is going for Wookiee. That is going to be 9. That's not going to do it.
That is not going to hit. I'm just going to tilt my head as the arrow tries to come at my head, and I'm just going to nope.
That's 1 down. 1 for you, Penny. That is a 19 to hit.
Oh, yeah, that hits.
Okay. 1 kind of hits your shoulder, and you take 5 piercing damage.
Okay.
Unarmed bandit the bandit captain raccoon goes full Hulk mode and is charging at you and is going to try and tackle you to the ground. A Thistlefoot. So make opposed athletics. You can also make acrobatics on your side of things to see if you can escape his grapple.
Athletics or acrobatics,
yes.
You said?
Uh-huh. So one is overpowering with strength. The other one is like
I'm
squeezing
going
out.
to do acrobatics.
Okay. He got 22.
Okay.
Roll
let's
pretty high
see.
on that.
It's not going to do it.
He runs, tackles you to the ground, and pushes you over. And then he's going to take, because he has more than one attack, unlike you guys, he's going to punch you twice. That is going to be a 18 to hit.
That hits.
Ooh, and a 22 to hit.
Both of those hit.
So you're going to take 5 bludgeoning damage as he beats you once in the head and then goes for the stomach for the second hit. Penny, you see this, and
Was that total? Or just 1 for 1?
that was total. They were
Okay,
both
fine.
together.
Okay.
Q. You hear the echoed screams of children and a loud thud from a little ways away. And as you look off in that direction, you can see a crowd, the crowd closer to you running past you, like people are starting to get panicked. And you can see from the garb of what they're wearing, multiple different humble folk, which is the non-winged folk of this world, on top of a lot of the market stalls and buildings surrounding the market that look to be a part of the bandits, the Vixen Coalition, who you know. You see them surrounding the market and people are starting to flee the market. What do you do?
Flea
So,
market.
Just as the raccoon shouts, "Give us all your stuff," Q is finishing up a trade with a merchant, handing over some coin, getting some recipes, some seeds. He hears this thunderous noise, the shouting, the panic coming from the crowd, and he goes, "Oh, beans," and starts to sprint towards the crowd, recognizing some of these
It's adorable.
garb on the humble folk that are standing on the stalls.
Okay. The top of the round, Wookiee, Thistlefoot. I'll try and say character names.
That's fine. So right now, currently, I'm grappled. Correct.
You are grappled, which, for those who don't know, grappled, your speed is 0, so you can't move,
Mm-hmm.
and no speed bonuses will work for you. That's it, baby. That's all.
So, would it? I'm gonna say just
You try
for
and slip out
flavor.
again.
I'm gonna say for flavor. I'm gonna use my powerful legs, and I'm going to push him off of me.
Okay.
I guess that would be maybe like a
An athletics check. Okay. Opposed athletics. He's gonna roll to try and
athletics. Okay.
Unless you want to try and wriggle out instead. You said you buffed your legs up and trying to get out. so-
I did, but my character athletics isn't that okay. I'll go with it. You know what? I'm sticking with it. Athletics. Let's just see. That's a 5.
What's the total though?
5.
Oh. Okay. Well, you're almost out because he also is struggling because of the way.
Would that have been of a action or bonus action? do you
That is your action to try and get
Okay,
out.
so as bonus action, as a monk, I can do an unarmed strike.
Okay.
So can I just do a nice little elbow to the side of his head?
Yeah, so I like to think you're rolling on the ground, and he tries to like get on a knee and pick you up and try
Yeah,
and get you off the
and
ground.
since I'm like, okay, we've got a big boy here, I'm gonna take my elbow and I'm gonna swing it like a knife blade right up to the temple of his head.
Yeah, roll to hit. See if you can hit him. His armor class, which is what you need to hit, is 15.
And I think it's just straight roll to see if you hit. Correct?
Yes, for now, unless other things make it easier for
And
you
you
to
have
hit.
your initiative, or not initiative, I'm sorry. There's a hit
hit. Okay, plus
modifier.
5. Plus
Yeah.
5. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was missing.
Yeah, you got a bonus.
It's been a while,
Been a
my
while.
friend. 19.
19 definitely hit.
Oh, that's 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Oh yeah. His arms slip below your arms. You're able to free one arm just for a moment, and you swing back and
Nice little crack.
crack against his temple. Give me some damage.
Yes. 6, 7, 8. 9 points of
9
damage.
damage. All right. With a little prick on his finger or his palm from the dart, and a now bruised and bloodied head from your. You swing back, and he kind of stumbles back. You're on the ground again with him. We'll go over to Penny. The main bandit captain is wrestling with a little mouse, and your Thistlefoot acquaintance looks like he's actually winning at the moment. But there are bandits, there are bandits stationed on top of the buildings that are looking like they were going to try and shoot Thistlefoot, but now they're looking at you and the rest of the civilians.
So, Penny is seeing all the extra people that are up at the top pointing the arrows.
So there are 4 people total up top. Only 2 took shots, yes.
Okay. Well, she's going to take her handy dandy blowgun out again.
Love it.
And she's going to just shoot it, the closest one, whatever.
The one that shot at you.
Yep.
Closest one.
Yep. We'll roll to hit. See if I hit with the blowgun. Ooh, 18 to hit.
Oh. The regular bandits have a 12 as their armor class, so you definitely hit again.
Okay.
What you got?
2.
2. Okay. It's a little fox person with a hood, the ears sticking through, and it's got a short bone. It's aiming at you, and you. Where do you hit him at?
On the cheek.
On the cheek. You puncture his cheek, and and then he pulls it out and like spits. You can see blood kind of trickling out of his mouth. And as it transitions to their turn, he finally knocks an arrow, kind of staggered, and takes a shot at you. That is 19 to hit for you.
Man, I gave you the wrong dice.
You want to switch dice?
No.
Okay.
All good.
That is
That hits.
5 piercing.
Okay.
As he hits you in your other shoulder. So now you got shoulder piercings. You got shoulder piercings now. One of them's gonna try and shoot Thistlefoot. He looks like he's got a good aim. So he's gonna try and shoot Thistlefoot in the middle of the rolling around in the dirt. We're gonna see how that goes.
Good luck.
He's gonna have disadvantage because he could hit his captain in the middle of this.
Yeah, I thought about using my hammer to help, but you guys
Wow.
are still together.
He really is a good shot.
Oh,
He rolled a
God.
19 on the
Swap the
die,
dice.
17 on the second one. He's going to take the worst because he has disadvantage. That's going to give him a 20 to hit. So he does hit you.
Yeah, that does.
Are you going to try and do anything else? Anything else?
You know what?
Your little reaction?
You know what? Yes, I'm going to use my deflect attack reaction. Just quick, when an attack roll hits you,
Yes.
when it hits you, its damage includes bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing.
Yep.
You can take a reaction to reduce the attack's total damage against you. The reaction equals 1d10 plus your dexterity and monk level. Dexterity modifier and monk level.
So he would technically do 5 piercing damage to you, but we're going to see if you can reduce it to 0.
Okay, so 5. Oh yeah, I rolled 4 plus 3 plus 3. Yeah, so that's going to reduce it to 0.
Okay. And when you reduce it to 0, I think you can actually throw it back as part of that reaction.
It might be
That might be later on. I don't know.
That might be later on, or I might have to expend a... if you reduce the damage to 0, you can expend 1 focus point to redirect some of the attack's force. If you do so, choose a creature you can see within 5 feet of yourself. If the attack was a melee attack or a creature you can see within 60 feet of yourself that isn't behind total cover attack was a range attack. The creature must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take damage equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts.
So
die.
basically, you can throw the arrow back
Yes.
or redirect. The sword
you know
back at
what?
the
You know
person.
what? I'm going to the who would be the closest person to me.
The bandit captain.
The bandit captain. Well, yeah, he would be on top of me.
Yeah, you could do him, or you could do.
Yeah, you know what? I'll do him. I'm going to as part of flavor for this, I'm going to say as I see the arrow coming, I'm going to kind of like use my leg and tail muscles, and I'm going to churn our bodies in a way to where it actually hits him
instead.
It hits
Okay.
him instead.
Yeah, you're able to like kind of fold him over you and just straight in the back, and you hear him like kind of snarl a little bit. How
I'm
much
gonna-
damage?
The creature must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take damage equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die.
So you could make it do more damage than just 5, probably.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably going to pass. Unfortunately, that is a 23.
It doesn't say what the DC would be for that save, but I mean, yeah, that's 20, so.
14.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He passes.
He passes.
Darn.
So what it looks like is you roll him over and the arrow's coming, but
Pings off of, is he wearing armor?
he's not wearing armor, but he kicks back and the arrow hits the ground right where you just were.
And as we're doing this too, I'm still gonna look him into the face and just sigh and say, "We don't have to do this."
Yes, we do. This is like an angry conviction that this isn't like some simple reason that he's trying to take all the stuff from the people. Like there is a passion and an anger behind what he's trying to do. To explain a little bit of combat, what he just did was a reaction. There's a couple different things we can take in combat. We'll kind of see that as we keep playing. So action, bonus action, reaction, movement is kind of the main things. So that's why he was able to go again. But now is the bandit captain's turn. He's going,
as the bandit captain's going, just as a side DM, are they wearing any special like clan symbol?
Yes. So it's kind of hard to see on the captain right now, but you recognize, at least on the one that shot at you as you were looking up, like, because you're very aware of your surroundings. That's when we found out. There is a orange stitch into the breasts of all of their cloaks and like breastplates and things like that. That looks like a head of a fox in orange. You know this as the Vixen Coalition. These are the bandits of the Humblewood. They're like a collaboration of all the bandits being headed up by some unknown entity.
Okay. Coming to Swinger, do whatever he can. He can't help but get a nice little whiff of pine.
He rubs up against your fine fresh car freshener. Nice. If he could read his mind, he's like, "Oh, that's kind of nice." he like puts you in a chokehold with one arm, and he pulls out a short sword out of a sheath from his side, and he's gonna try and stab you with it. That's gonna be an 8 to hit on his first attack.
That doesn't hit.
Again, an 8. And then, goodness gracious, a 9.
Nope, those don't.
Yeah, he goes for some swift jabs with the short sword, but you're just too small, and you're fighting him off. Penny, he looks like he's doing a damn good job fighting this guy that's over twice his size. This raccoon person, by the way, jacked, massive, like nearly 6 feet tall, out of this world big compared to most of the other Maypocker or raccoon folk of this world. But yeah, you see jab into the ground 3 times and miss all 3. Darwin, the crowd is breaking, and you can see way off in the distance a giant raccoon wrestling something that you can't see. You're assuming another person.
You just see a little thin tail with a little sand fur puff on it.
And then there's 4 archers on the roofs, and they're starting to aim for the other civilians in the little town.
So Q is going to take stock of his surroundings. Say, okay, he's kind of counting in his head, okay, 4 archers, and they're this way and that way, and there's something on the ground, and
carry the 2.
scaled thing over there. And as anyone might assume, when you're outnumbered by that many, and there are so many innocent civilians, Q is going to recognize that this situation is dire. As he's sort of approaching the crowd, he's going to grip the talon around his neck and chant a silent prayer to himself. And as this happens, a sort of overflowing magical energy comes off of this item around his neck. For the players and the bandits, everything will go dark.
It's pitch black. Okay.
So you guys are immediately blinded by darkness, and it is midday. As a reminder, in the market, you can still hear. You're still where you were. You feel the ground. You're still wrestling the.
Well, that's
raccoon.
Inconvenient. You just hear Thistlefoot say,
"Blinded." Just for those who need to know, which is everyone here. A blinded creature can't see and automatically fails any ability check that requires sight. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. So you're kind of at the disadvantage at the moment.
Yeah.
Is this, since it's an item, is it an action?
I
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think it's only cantrips that say like bonus action. You can
That's
do
fine.
bonus action.
That's fine.
No, yeah, I'll say it's an action since this
Okay.
is like a homebrew thing we're doing here.
Yep.
Mechanically, everyone in the radius is blinded by this unnatural magical darkness that just appears out of nowhere.
As this darkness sort of sweeps over your eyes, both of you hear in a voice sort of unfamiliar to you, maybe a little bit to Thistlefoot, as the sun must set, so must the light of life give way to the darkness of the grave. And suddenly your vision restores, although not completely. It's as if you're working in dim light.
Mm.
The bandits don't get this benefit, but you two do.
It's kind of like we have night vision goggles on.
Sort of like that.
Yeah.
And Q is going to cast Healing Word on Penny. He'll cast it at first level. You're going to heal for 8 hit points.
Thank you very much.
So the darkness goes over the battlefield. Then your sight is somewhat restored. You can see a Penny as you're looking to the roofs because you were focused on those bandits. They're like blinking rapidly and like waving their hands around and starting to panic because it looks like they can't see, but you can. You can see like a dark mist surrounding you, and you feel like there's eyes like watching you. You see he's still wrestling the big old raccoon, and there is a hedge sprinting between the crowd.
Is Q heavily breathing?
He is slow.
He's a big guy, but he's quite slow.
I just envision like a Friar Tuck type of person running.
What you actually hear is the rattling of tools in his belt, kind of jingling and jangling around as he's trying to get into the battlefield.
We'll jump to you, Thistlefoot. You have restored sight. Feels like you can see better than this little raccoon. He's panicking like he can't see. Why can't I see?
Does this panic cause him to let go of me?
It gives him disadvantage if you want to break free. So if you would like to try and break free.
You know what? I'm just going to say, I guess we're doing this. And I'm going to once again take elbow swing, cutting through the air like a knife towards his temple. 12.
And since he's blinded, you have advantage.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
I wanted this better. Okay, so it's 12.
So his AC is 15, so you do miss.
Okay. As a bonus action, I'm gonna take my other unarmed strike and go for his temple again. Actually, no, this time I'm gonna go for his jaw. Is it still at it with it?
Yeah, you still have advantage. So advantage.
10.
Advantage. You roll 2, and you get to pick the higher.
Yeah. So I rolled a 5
Still.
and a crit 1. So 10.
His
It doesn't
panic.
hit.
His panic is making him just
Dodge.
like move wildly, and he's also trying to be careful because he has a blade out to not stab himself while rolling around in the darkness. You hit the ground with one, and then you hit like his pack with your other one. And Penny, it is your turn next.
So what I'm thinking is, I am seeing all the wrestling going on now that I can kind of see.
That wrestling.
I'm wondering if I can. How far away are they from me?
Maybe like 10 or 15 feet, not too
Perfect.
far.
I would like
You can get
to run over there and see if I could just snatch Thistlefoot out of
We'll
his
like pull
grip.
him out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you can do an athletics check.
Okay.
And he will do one as well with disadvantage.
11.
You got a 10. So
Oh.
you rip
As you're-
Thistlefoot a
You hear a small.
three-pronged claw pulls you out.
You hear a little squeak.
Ah!
You hear a little.
You slip in between the grasps of this raccoon and are placed on your feet, pulled out, and you can see Penny did it for you.
Thank you, ma'am.
No problem. Now, let's get rid of these guys.
All right.
Yeah, you can see this. They ain't playing around. 2 of the archers were focused solely on civilians, and they've already shot 2 of the people that are fleeing. And it'll be the bandit captain's turn. He felt you leave it his grasp, and he kind of feels around, grabs onto his great sword, picks it up. He drops the short sword, and he's just gonna swing wildly to see if he can hit you. So he will swing with disadvantage because he's still blinded. And 1 of 3 attacks. That's a 9. That is a 14
Nope.
and a natural 1. So
Nope.
the last one, he gets off balance and stumbles down to a knee again. So now he's considered prone. So you will have double advantage on him.
I'm going to use my tail to also kind of scoot Penny from the sword coming at us. I got a strong tail too. Don't skip tail day.
We'll jump over to Q.
So Q has just entered this battlefield. I have no idea what's just happened between you two, other than that I saw some kind of tuft of fur rolling around with this.
Q
this,
has entered.
This bandit. He's kind of like, what the? Anyway, and he's gonna look to the nearest bandit archers.
Okay.
How close are these two archers standing together? The ones that have just fired and killed civilians.
They're like right next to each other.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna cast sleep on both of them. It's
okay.
So sleep. Each creature of your choice in a 5-foot radius sphere centered on a point within range must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or have the incapacitated condition until the end of its next turn. At which point it will then repeat the save, and if it fails the second save, then it becomes unconscious for the duration of the spell, which is a minute. So
Do they get to make it again if they get hit?
or someone within 5 feet of it
Tries to wake them.
Tries to wake it
Okay.
up.
All right.
They can try to shake it out of the spell's effect.
So the way we got the battlefield laid out, there was 2 archers close to the bandit captain on a roof that you Penny and Thistlefoot were kind of somewhat dealing with, and then the other 2 were just shooting wildly at civilians after the fight broke out. Those are the ones we're targeting with sleep.
Correct. The ones that just killed people. Yes.
Yeah, they're not dead, but they're
Well, they have
heavily wounded.
shot civilians.
Yes.
They have to succeed. It's a 13 wisdom
Okay.
saving throw.
The first one, they have a 0 bonus. Rolls a 17. The second one falls over and they're blind, right? So because the darkness bumps into the other one and he just randomly shoots an arrow straight up in the air, and then it comes down in between him. But yeah, one of them just gets knocked out right next to him.
Perfect.
Thistlefoot, you can see you're kind of taking stock of the battlefield. You look around and the 2 that were attacking civilians are being handled by this hedge, who already has swiftly, from what you could tell, taken care of one of them and is going after the other.
I apologize. How many bandits are there?
5 total. One's the captain.
Okay, one's the captain. How many are on the roofs?
There's 4 total. 2 on the roof next to you, and then there's 2 on the roof down the market a little bit further.
Okay, so the only one on the ground's the captain.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to grab the staff that's on my back.
Had a weapon the whole time.
Yep. I'm going to take out the staff and I'm going to run at the captain and I'm going to hit him in to try to get him to drop his greatsword. And that's probably more of a
Like a
distance.
disarm.
I'm doing it for more flavor.
So you can do it. We'll flavor that kind of stuff for non-pennies as a precision attack. So you will have disadvantage. You can do it, but it'll be harder to do. If you want to, you can.
You know what? Nah, instead I'm going to go for cracking him in the skull.
Okay.
11
does not hit.
11. Okay. Then I'm going to turn right back around and I'm going to take the momentum of me swinging quarterstaff and then I'm going to kick to his thigh.
Okay.
Gosh darn. That does not hit.
He's strong, man. So you crack down your staff. He's wildly swinging his greatsword. You hit the sword, use the momentum to flip around and try and kick, and you just hit against his thick biceps, and it just like kind of bounces off from the pure rippling muscles on his arms.
Very descriptive about this. Rippling muscle.
Yeah, he's jacked. This is I almost said this is a jack off.
Oh gosh.
This is a jack off. And then as you kind of like flip over to the other side, you can see peeking out from behind the building, just out of sight, a smaller raccoon child looking on from behind the building you chased. Its scout.
I'm just going to give him a stern glare.
Yeah, and he's like, he can't see what's going on. He looks like he's trying to see through the mist, but you can tell like he's got a maniacal grin going on. Penny, you're up next. Unless you got anything else.
No, that's it.
Okay, Penny.
So now that Thistlefoot isn't in the way, I'm going to take the warhammer and just
Whack.
whack across the side of his head.
Okay,
Or
and since he
attempt to.
still can't see, you have advantage again.
Sweet. Ooh. 21 to hit.
Oh yeah, definitely hits.
Ring that bell.
Ring that bell indeed.
Not that great, but I hit him for 4 points.
He's getting a little bloody. You hit him against the head, and he looks even more dazed than he already was, and he's like stumbling around, shakes his head and blinks, and it still can't see. He could be blind for all he knows at this point. And he's going to take a wild couple of swings at whatever just hit him, which is you, I guess. That is 11 to hit.
Miss.
12. Oh, this one might hit. And then the last one comes in at a 23.
Well, that kind of hits.
he does like a whirlwind motion with his great sword and just swinging it wildly. And he ends up clipping you with that final hit. And that's going to be 10 slashing damage as he cuts you across the chest.
Ouchie.
The two archers that were wildly shooting at you, one's going to shoot at you, Penny. The other at you, Thistlefoot. It's not even worth showing. It's a 4 to hit you, Thistlefoot.
Nope.
And a 5 to hit you, Penny. So you both hear 2 arrows just hitting the ground.
I'm going to dodge out of the way, and then I'm going to use my tail to kind of push Penny to miss, to get the arrow to miss.
She's very focused on the raccoon right now. And the other two, one of them makes a save because he's asleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
13.
A natural 19 plus 0. So his other friend is like, "Hey, wake up, you idiot!" And like kind of kicks him in the head, and he goes,
I like to think the arrow that he shot up just comes back down and hits him.
Yeah, it hits, pinning his cloak to the ground. He's like, "Ah! I can't stop holding me down."
Whatever will I do?
He kind of rips and he stands up, and they both draw arrows, and they like fire into the ether. So we're gonna disadvantage shoot at you, Q. 1. Oh yeah, natural 1 for that first one.
To be clear, the one that was asleep is still incapacitated until the end of its turn this round.
Okay. Well, then they both miss. One of them is like struggling to get up from the arrow that kind of is holding him down. He finally rips it up. That's his turn. And then the other one wildly shoots. And since it's a natural one, the other, he fumbles the arrow and it like donks his friend on the head and like scrapes up his nose. And he's like, "What the man?" It is your turn now, Q. You see this idiot just screwing around on the roof next to you.
So there's those two. There's also another 2 bandits in a different position.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So seeing that the bandit leader seems to be kind of dealt with right now, Q is going to eye the 2 bandits that he didn't just try to put to sleep, and he's going to cast Moonbeam directly in between them.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be able to get both. So what does that do?
Well, so Moonbeam, it's a 5-foot radius with a 40-foot high cylinder of light centered on a point within range. Dim light fills the cylinder, and I can choose to move that on a later turn. It would take a magic action to do that. When the cylinder appears, each creature in it makes a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature will take 2d10 radiant damage. And if the creature is shapeshifted, which they're not, that doesn't really matter.
How do you know?
You don't know.
How do you know?
You don't know,
Well,
man.
you know what? Then they're going to revert to their true form.
They're freaking
and they
frauds.
can't shapeshift until they leave the cylinder. On a successful save, they'll take half as much damage.
All right.
They also make the save when the spell moves into its space and when it enters the spell's area or ends its turn there. So they'll continue to take damage for as long as they stand in it, basically.
Which they might just do because they're blind as hell. So they have a +1 to con. So we're going to roll the first one. This will be the one that has been hitting the hell out of Penny.
You're looking for a 13 or higher.
That is a natural 20.
That's unfortunate.
Do they still take any on a path?
Half.
Okay, so he'll take half. How much is he taking?
17 rounded down.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, that is exactly the health he had remaining. And he's like, "Ah!" He gets burned up by the moonlight as the column of light pierces.
He's just absorbed by it. He dissolves
yeah.
away and disappears.
He disintegrates by the moonlight. The guy next to him. Wow, they're
Crazy rolls.
that's a
man.
19.
Crazy.
Do we want to keep the roll? I know you already rolled it, so it's kind of
Do
biased.
you want me to roll again for each person? It doesn't matter.
I feel like it's one moonbeam.
Okay.
That's cool. So that's how much again?
It would be 8 at half.
3.5.
So he's like the Black Knight from Monty Python. No limbs. They're gone.
It's just a flesh wound.
He's a stump right now. And he's like, "I'll bite your legs off." Yeah, his limbs immediately dissolve. And he's like flopping around up there.
So can he still shoot arrows with his legs
Yeah, with
dissolved?
his mouth he can.
Yeah, okay.
This is a very committed archer.
Yeah, he's the one that's been sniping people.
He takes his job very
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah, he'll die. He'll die for the cause. Thistlefoot. You can see a column of light, like from space, beam down, eviscerate one of the bandits. The other one is unnaturally alive still somehow. What are you doing? What are you doing?
And then I take my staff and I once again try to crack this guy in the head.
All right. 15 is his AC.
Nope.
No?
Nope. And I'm going to turn around, use the momentum.
You have advantage.
Oh,
Remember, he is
that's
blind.
right. That's
He is
right.
blind. He can't
Do
see.
it
You
again.
can, baby.
That's right. Nope.
Well,
Dang.
I'm not rolling good.
He's in a rage right now.
Yeah,
He's
then
wildly.
I'm going to take the momentum of swinging quarterstaff, and this time I'm going to do a back elbow towards his solar plexus.
Got an 8-pack. So good luck.
An unusual number of abs.
Nah, bro.
Nope.
He's a coon.
My gosh.
Brother.
No. I'm rolling terrible.
What happened? What did you roll?
the dice that Mark's
I
using.
rolled a 6,
you
so
gave me
11.
2 different dice.
I
So it was 11.
Wow. He's just like I said. He grows another 2 abs, and they
He grows another 2 abs.
They flex, and they just reflect your elbow. Your flying elbow is grounded for now. It's like a bouncy house. You just boing off with your elbow. Penny, it's your turn.
So Warhammer's out still. I'm going to go for his knees. I'm going to try to break his knees.
Oh my god.
Break the kneecap.
That's the goal. Let me see here. Ooh, 14 to hit.
It's a miss. It's 15.
Okay. Well, that didn't work.
All right. You have advantage, remember? Did you roll that?
Oh, no, I did not. Thank you. Oh.
You definitely hit
Dirty
now.
20.
Yes. Roll me some damn.
Sorry, my brain just stopped.
It's okay.
11 points of damage.
Jeez. You
Right in the knees.
You hit him in the knee, and he falls immediately to the ground. You hear a crack as you fracture his kneecap, and he stumbles to the ground and screams in pain. His greatsword falls, and he's like holding himself up barely by the greatsword. He's gonna stand up and try and do a couple swings at you again, with disadvantage, of course. That's a first is a miss. That's a 20 to hit on a second. Swings around, 6 slashing damage against you. 1 more to attack on you.
Okay.
Same thing both times. That is a 13.
Miss.
Miss. He ends up slashing you across the arm and coming back for another one and plants it in the ground. He's not feeling too good. So after he's done swinging on you, he's going to just pick up his sword and stumble and start making a break for it. He's going to run. So he's exiting your radius and yours, Thistlefoot. You can use a reaction to hit him as he's leaving your area.
I'm going to do that and hit the wounded kneecap
Oh
to
my,
try to
brutal.
cause him to stumble
Okay.
downwards
All right.
to fall.
Roll to hit, baby.
Okay, it's a 15.
He has a reaction he hasn't used.
Oh,
Called
lovely.
Parry.
Uh-oh.
The
Lovely.
platypus. He wields the
Parry the platypus!
No, he whips his great sword around, adds 2 to his AC, his armor class, and blocks it.
Well, that's lovely.
But you can still hit him, Penny, if you wish.
I would like to. Is it still with advantage?
It would be, yeah.
Perfect. 23 to hit.
That hits.
All right. What I'm thinking is I'm going to take the Warhammer and I'm going to brace it against his neck, push him on the ground, and say yield.
I'm going to need you to make an athletics check. We'll do the damage for your attack.
Okay.
But then we're going to need to oppose athletics to see if you can kind of like pin him down.
Got it. Okay. 9 points of damage.
9. Still up.
Okay.
But he's not having a good time, I'll tell you that. And what's your athletics check?
10.
He got 7.
Oh.
So you're able to. He was weak on the knee, and you push him down to the ground and pin him down. I haven't done the bandit. Okay.
Yeah.
The 2 bandits that were shooting at you guys.
Mm-hmm.
One's dead. The other one's got a mouth, and he's gonna use it. He uses his stump and pulls back the bowstring with his mouth and tries to shoot you, Penny, with disadvantage. It's a 7. He misses. He breaks the string on his teeth.
He will take damage now because it's the end of his turn.
Oh,
and
shoot,
he didn't
you're
move.
right. Oh, yeah, he's dead now. He's like,
Does he have one?
yeah.
Okay.
He was
he's
at
dead.
2 HP left.
He's dead.
He died. The other two, one is awake now. The other one just terribly missed. They get up, and they're both going to try and shoot you, Q. With disadvantage, of course. Wow, if only they didn't have disadvantage, that would be another critical hit.
Oh, thank you.
They don't have that, though. So that is a 14. 18.
That meets my armor class.
Wow. Okay, the one that's been just like pinned down, he was the best shooter of them all, and he like pushes the other guy aside, and he pulls back the bow. He's a little crow folk, and he crow-eyed shoots you in the shoulder for 5 piercing damage, and then it would be your turn, passing the turn to you with that arrow.
Fresh wound in his shoulder. Q is going to direct his attention towards the bandit that just shot him. Rude.
How rude.
You eviscerated his 2 friends and put them to sleep.
Q's gonna give a stare at the bandit that just shot him.
He can't see you.
Right, he doesn't have to see me. That's
Yeah.
fine.
He doesn't even know if he hit you, to be honest.
Like you said, in the darkness, you feel like you're being watched from all sides. He feels more particularly that he's being stared down.
He's angered to God.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And the eyes that he feels on him start to have this effect of sort of black smoke coming off of them. Q is going to cast Guiding Bolts.
Oh, shoot.
All right.
Okay.
He'll cast it at first level. It's
All
not
right.
that serious. He'll cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay.
So I'm going to hurl a bolt of light at him. I'll make a ranged spell attack. And if it hits, he'll take 4d6 radiant damage.
Wow.
And then the next roll against him,
Brutal.
if he survives, will have advantage.
Let's see. Go ahead and roll the hit for me.
Okay, so we are 24 to hit.
Surprisingly, that misses.
Yeah, I'm going to roll my
Bullseye.
d6.
Bullseye. You would have advantage technically already now because he's blind. So it might matter if you don't kill him. The crit might matter if you roll a crit. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just roll it. Yeah.
Okay. 4d6. So that is 10 plus 6, so 16 damage.
A bolt of light pierces through the veil of darkness, follow it like it's like within a microsecond. The arrow kind of opens up the darkness. He hears and then a giant bolt of light follows that same path and pins him in the head, and he just falls over dead, leaving one remaining bandit on the roof and the bandit captain, who is pinned down by Penny.
So as that bandit collapses, the darkness fades. The eyes that were glowing disappear. Everyone can see again.
All right.
I can see! Oh my god! He's the one that's still alive. The wow, this is getting deep already. The fox person looks down and he goes, "No, Dan!" And it's your turn, Thistlefoot. You can tell the smoke clear. It is daylight again. All of the civilians are gone now. One bandit screaming for a guy named Dan. All the other ones are gone somehow, and then the bandit captain is pinned down by Penny.
Okay, I'm going to just hold a stance with a staff kind of cocked back. I'm going to hold my action. If he tries to get out,
He's looking at it, he says, "Do it! You aren't taking me alive!"
I just stand there with it cocked back.
All right, Penny. What you gonna do? You
I
gonna hit
take
him?
my claws
Your claws.
and I'm gonna slash him across the face.
All right, roll the hit.
Ba-ba-ba.
He's pinned down. So you have advantage.
Beautiful.
Pretty wild how that works.
Keeps getting advantage.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's prone, which means you get advantage.
21 to hit.
That definitely hits.
4 slashing damage. I said yield.
And your reaction will go off because he's gonna try and go to break free Thistlefoot. So you can attack now with your attack.
Okay,
That is
yep,
only
so-
an action.
Okay, there we go. Much better. Much better. Thank you.
If you beat a
22.
Oh yeah, you definitely beat a 15. You hit.
Okay. 22.
You hit him with the staff, and he's shaking for a second, but he's not quite down. He's getting close. He's approaching either dead or unconscious, depending on how you guys want to handle that.
And when I hit him across, I'm going to say, she said yield.
The bandit that's on the roof. This is for Dan! He pulls back the bowstring and is going to try and hit Penny. That is a 17 to hit Penny.
That matches my AC.
Ooh, so it's going to hit. That is going to be 5 piercing damage.
Okay.
As you're wincing from that attack, the bandit captain is going to try and push you off and break free. So let's do an opposed athletic. What'd you get?
7.
He got a 10 this time. So
Aww.
you take that hit and he like gets his feet underneath your chest and pushes you off. And he like jumps up and he's going to go to run. If you have your reactions, you can take attacks again. Which I believe both of you do.
Okay. I'm going to
Just regular roll attack.
just regular or roll.
Yeah, he's not prone anymore, so you just get one roll.
I miss.
Yours is hitting?
Yeah,
Thistlefoot
23.
hits.
Okay.
23. So I go once again for his kneecap.
The injured one or the non-injured one?
You know what? I'm going to break his other kneecap.
Okay.
You would go.
All right.
Going for his other kneecap
Oh my god.
to bring him down. 12 points of damage. Do I snap his other kneecap?
You do like you shattered his kneecap. He's still conscious.
But with both of his
Gosh.
kneecaps,
He is hobbling. He's still going away. I'm gonna say he's at half movement right now.
Okay.
So he's just hobbling away, using his greatsword as like a staff. He makes it 15 feet away from you, and that's it.
is it my turn now? Or are we back at the top of the round?
He just went. It's gonna be Q next.
Oh, okay.
So with that, Q, it's your turn. The bandit you saw fired hit Penny, and the bandit captain broke away and is trying to exit the battle as you've eviscerated every other bandit. You fucking killed Dan.
I'm about to kill Dan's best friend too. So
Not Stan.
I am going to Q is going to repeat his previous action on the
Nice.
one remaining bandit and cast another first level guiding bolt. As this sort of ball of dark energy builds up. Good, that's a 7. That's not probably gonna hit.
He says, Fran ain't no. You ain't gonna hit me. You're going down, you porky pig.
Q shoots this glowy, this sort of like dark, misty, glowy ball of energy, and it zips right past the bandit.
Yeah, he matrix that and bends backwards. He's a very flexible fox.
However,
What?
as a bonus action,
Oh my goodness.
I'm
Yeah,
a cleric, and I get this
Uh-huh.
really, really fun thing called spiritual weapon.
I think that's an action.
It's
now.
a bonus action, buddy.
Still? Oh, it has concentration now.
Right.
That's the thing they
I'm
changed.
so the moonbeam's going to go away,
Okay.
which is affecting nobody right now.
So concentration, some of the spells have that because they're powerful and they last longer than one round. So you can only do one at a time. And so the moonbeam disappears. The eviscerator, as we'll call it for now. The blender.
the blender,
the blender.
judgment of the sky.
And what spiritual weapon do? What does it look like?
So Q is not targeting this remaining underling with this spiritual weapon.
Oh, he's not. Okay.
So spiritual weapon allows you to create a floating spectral force that resembles a weapon of your choice and lasts for the duration. Force appears within range in a space of your choice, and you can immediately make one melee spell attack against one of the creatures within the 5 feet of the force. This spiritual weapon is a giant shovel,
I knew
and
it.
it is going to appear behind the fleeing bandit leader and make a swing.
Okay, roll to hit. The spade grenade.
19 to hit.
Well, that's gonna hit.
Ooh.
He'll take one. Just a little
Surprisingly-
swing of the shovel. Oh, ding.
He's a hardy lad. He gets boom straight. He's being pummeled, but he is a berserker, just pushing through all of these attacks. It looks like one good hit from any of you will take this guy down probably the next time. With that Thistlefoot, it is your turn.
So, seeing that he's running, going to run after him. I have 40 feet of movement, so I'm assuming I can get to him.
you.
Go out and I'm going to lean backwards a little bit, and with my tail and powerful legs, I'm going to give myself an extra push as I jump and do a jump kick. At him.
Oh, baby. Roll to hit.
17.
That does hit.
Nice.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, so
It's not impossible for you to not take him down, but it's like statistically improbable. So roll damage. We'll see how this goes. But I imagine you'll take him out.
Beautiful.
7.
How do you want to do this?
As I'm running after him, as I get close to him within my known range, that I know I can do this, I'm going to lean backwards a little bit, use my tail to give me an extra push as I push off of both of my tail and my mighty legs. And I'm going to push and do kind of like a jump kick. And I'm just going to hit him right in the middle of the back.
Okay. As you're midair, you're flying like this slow motion. You see Scout. His eyes, his look changes into a look of panic and fear. Are you still going to go and hit the bandit captain?
Seeing this as he does this, I'm going to change my direction to take out his legs.
Your buff legs counter his buff legs, but you overtake this bandit captain. You topple his legs, and he falls unconscious. We're out of combat now. You see Scout runs up, shakes the bandit captain. Dad, how dare you? And he pulls out a little dagger. Stay away from my dad.
I'm going to use my tail to like knock the dagger.
Yeah, it just goes flying.
Step aside.
No, when he like hugs his dad. Leave him alone.
Take your father home.
What's the other bandit's name?
Dan?
Dan?
Nope.
Nope.
Stan.
Fran.
No, it's not Stan.
Fran?
Fran. The last remaining bandit hobbles his way down. He side eyes you too.
Here's
Little
I
side
stare back.
Sorry.
Go.
He kind of like picks Scout up and like puts the giant raccoon guy's arm around him, and he's like barely carrying him.
Don't forget
off.
his sword.
He grabs it, and there's just like a drag.
I grab the
mark.
sword for him and I hand it to him.
He like he's barely holding it. You have no idea how he's gonna. They're 5 feet at a time, just like. And they're slowly, and Scout kind of comes behind, and tries to pick up the great sword, and it's no help. But he's like grabbing the part that's
Feels
on the
like
ground.
he's helping.
Penny's over in the corner. She just yanked out a couple of the arrows. Okay.
I go over to help Penny up and to provide a little piece of cloth to help with some dabbing up.
Thanks.
You're welcome. That was a mighty hitting that you did.
Thank you. That was my first real fight. So that was kind of cool. But you did amazing. You got like extremely strong legs. That's crazy, dude. Ow.
Are you okay?
I'm not doing too great. I'm hurting a little bit. Hang on. And then she's gonna cast Second Wind. Okay, I think I'm okay.
Take a powerful breath.
Yeah.
In the background, you hear Q say, "Are you guys okay?" You see this massive Hulk of a head running slowly towards you. It's kind of Baywatch, but very slow.
The only thing
Flabs
jiggling.
flying into the
The
wind.
only thing jiggling is the quills.
Yeah, he's very lean.
Oh.
Just very slow.
It's the quills.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You see them kind of bristle up and then settle down and get hard and soften. And that's just his normal.
Whoa.
Listen.
It's gonna be a good podcast. You're gonna be my prime target for this.
That's hey, Google what happens to hedgehog quills. They get hard and they soften. That's what it says.
I bet.
Oh,
Speaking
goodness.
of hard
Don't
and
Google
soft,
too many other hard and soft things about hedgehogs. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, well, speaking of hard and soft hedgehogs, the one that was selling you seeds earlier at the market stall hobbles up slowly just behind you and says, "Hey there, could you use some help there,
Yes.
Penny? Penny? Is that-
Yes, that's my name.
starts kind of pulls out some healing herbs and mashes them into a little cloth bandage and pushing it and packing it around your wound.
Does he spit into it to make it like a little bit more liquidy?
He don't hawk to it, all right? That's dead and gone. We don't talk about that. We found that is not a good and safe environment for germs in the mouth. We are animals, people. All right.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, Q.
Thistlefoot, hey buddy, long time no see.
It's been a while, but man, it's been at least what, maybe like 2 years, maybe.
At least.
How's the garden?
It's growing, man. It's always growing.
Yeah, I need to come see it again sometime.
Next time you're down here to get supplies from the monastery, I'll set some aside for you. I'll make you a sack.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Oh,
Perfect.
you guys know each other?
Yeah. I have a garden up in Meadowfen. Q, his monastery, comes down often to pick up supplies to help the refugees that they keep there.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
I come down from the Whispering Pines monastery. We're helping those who are displaced by the fires out west. And Q's been a very big supplier. He's our supplier.
I do love growing.
Of some fine vegetables and herbs that we're able to give out to people. So we've met and have dealt with Q a couple of times.
Okay, well that's really cool. Were you the one with all the darkness, and then there was light, and then was that
I didn't
you?
know you could do that, Q.
Yeah, I try not to do that too often.
It was weird.
It's it does some damage. It's a little scary. It's even a little scary for me sometimes. But when I see people in need or my friends are in danger, I try to help out. And usually the people who are putting them in danger don't do so good on the other end of that.
We appreciate it. That was awesome.
By the way, Q, this is Penny.
Penny, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Did you hear the little whispery words that sounded spooky when it went dark?
Yes.
That was me.
Oh,
Yeah, that was me.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
So, Thistlefoot, what are you doing here? This is kind of out of the way for your monastery.
Yeah, a couple of months back, I decided it was time for me to go on my journey, as we call it. I learned what the monks could teach me physically, but now it's time for me to just take some time away and just to go around and travel and help others in need and be a helping hand for the small folk here.
Are you looking for something specific in this area?
No, I was just on my way, and actually before these bandits attack, I was looking for some food. Then I noticed that raccoon kid, that one who, I guess that was his dad. Did he say that was his dad?
Yeah.
He had stolen Penny's bracelet. I had noticed it and followed him around and had gotten it back.
Wait a second. I thought you found it.
Well, I have
What did
wanted
you
to
do?
What did you do?
What did you do?
Well, I didn't want the trouble to go to the kid.
Yes, but now I realize I need to be a little more aware of children in this area. So that would be nice to know.
You're not from around here, are you?
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah, so I guess he was thieving for his dad or something.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Yeah, speaking of not being around here, what brings you here? I mean, Pangolin in these parts is really unheard of. In fact, you're really the only second one that I've seen in these past couple of years.
Wait, you said the second? Well, who was the first, if you don't mind me asking?
About a year ago, I was doing some work for the monastery, and I came across this older pangolin on the road, and we had stopped for the night together and shared a cup of coffee. He was a real nice guy, and it's at this time that Thistlefoot sees the little compass earring in Penny's ear. No, he was wearing a very similar earring that you have, a compass.
Oh, yeah, my father has one as well. Your
father?
Maybe you ran into my father.
Your dad?
He's the one who made them. So they're very special and very unique.
Oh, they're very lovely.
Thank you. He made them, and it's very special to our family. When you said you met him and had coffee and stuff, what was going on? Where were you? Do you know where he went?
He had said that he was heading off to Bracken Mill. It's a little bit off towards the west here. He said he was looking for like a stone, a mineral. He was looking for something like that, but when we had parted ways, he had said that he was heading off towards Bracken Mill.
That had to have been my dad. He's looking for a stone that shines and sparkles like the night sky.
Just as you were talking about Brackenmill, you remember Pip's kind of holding the thing on your wound. He goes, "Oh, Brackenmill, you said. Well, I hate to tell you, that's kind of a ghost town right now. Not too long ago, about the same time you're talking about, a little after maybe, they were attacked by a pretty fierce group of bandits in a raid, and I heard they were taking people.
That's
A bunch of farmers and craftsmen and such.
that's actually where I was heading off to, because I had heard whispers upon the wind that there was some trouble brewing in Brackenmill, so I was going to head back that way and see if there was any help that I could provide for the folk.
Okay, yeah. They definitely, he is a craftsman, so I am a little worried that maybe the bandits took him. Do you mind if we go and find him? If I don't know. Oh, I don't know where I'm going. I'm nervous.
Well, yeah, you can. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I'm that way anyway.
While hearing this conversation between Penny and Thistlefoot, Hugh has a memory from his past and kind of thinks to himself and says he identifies with the idea that the bandits have taken something from Penny, and sort of has this thought of, maybe it's time to get back to it, to really figure out what happened. This is a good opportunity, a capable party that can finally uncover some more information about what was taken from Q. You guys are heading to Brackenmill then?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, we're.
Well, I think I'll come with you.
That would be awesome.
oh,
We can use the
really?
light in the darkness.
Oh,
The light
really?
in the
No
darkness.
way.
I'm going to try not to do any more light and darkness. It's already starting to get late in the day. Probably don't need any help with that.
Okay.
The bandits took something from me too, and I'm always looking for a way to get back at them. So,
Okay.
And I'm just looking for a way to help folk.
Well, I guess we can all just start heading to Brackenmill. I don't know where that is, so I'll let you guys lead the way.
like all other things in the wood, it is north.
I guess that means we're going to be putting your seed orders on hold for now, mister.
Yeah, don't call them that. Hold them to the side, and
Hold your sacks?
Yes, all of them.
All of my seed in your sacks.
Anyway, yeah, I'm not
right.
going to pay you yet.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Well,
hold them, and I'll pay you when I get back.
I don't hold nothing for no money. If you don't pay me, they don't get held.
Yeah, well, that's a shame. I was planning to
Sure
make
is.
I was planning to make a bulk purchase on my next round buy.
Well,
but you know what? I guess if you don't want that, I'll just give them up.
Thistlefoot gives a bow
This is a
and he
premium.
starts kind of walking
Oh,
away.
really?
He
Yeah,
turns around and starts following Thistlefoot, ignoring Pip for that.
Premium product. Costs
Too
a
bad.
lot of money.
Yeah, you're not gonna get any of mine.
All right, I'll give them to someone else then.
Nobody wants them.
That's not true.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Hey, Night Owls. Thanks for listening to this episode of Tales at Twilight. Mark is our DM, Becca is Penny, Matt is Thistlefoot, and Q is played by myself, Darwin. Our cover art is done by Seba Huidobono, and our theme by Jeremy. Links to their work are available in the show notes below. If you enjoyed this brand new introductory episode of Tales at Twilight, do us a solid by leaving us a review on whatever podcast platform you listen on. Tell your friends, post it on socials, you know the drill. We're so excited to be launching this project and hope that y'all will enjoy listening as much as we enjoy putting on the show. Our next episode will be released in 2 weeks, so stay tuned until the next Twilight.